We're at a A2 center. Need to do some work on the turret. That ring that allows the turret to rotate is locked up. I was here a couple weeks ago doing some arcade work and just touched really quickly on this one. We've tried all the easy stuff, right? There's no bind that we can see from like the blanking on the words. The lever here wasn't hitting the bolt heads. They don't have any extra long bolts down there that are dragging on the frame. There's nothing wrong with the indexing stop latch or indexing roller. The turret ring just appears to be locked up. So what they've already done is I showed them how to take the halo off and the center chute out. The basket's loose. They kind of set this all up for me so that it would kind of speed the process up for them. So that's our general recap of where we're at. Let me get you guys situated a little better so I can have two hands free, and we will dig into this. I hope that's going to be a good angle that you guys can see everything from. There are no lights overhead, so we are using little magnetic stick-up lights. If you guys don't have these Milwaukee magnetic stick-up lights, these things are friggin' cool. I'm sure you can find less expensive ones somewhere else, but I don't know. I jumped on the Red Army bandwagon. They're missing a screw here, so I need to go grab some additional tools and remove that screw. Let's get this last final screw out of this turret basket, and should be good to go. I'm wondering why that one was still there. It's okay, not a big deal. Wondering if they didn't have the proper size Allen wrench or something, I don't know. That's okay, we got it. We have adequate tools. I was worried that maybe it was kind of seized up in there and they were worried about breaking it, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Okay, turret basket coming out. Got it. Okay, go ahead and set this down over here. Now, let's see if we can identify this thing. So the inner ring, you see how that, oh no, the whole thing is loose. Oh crap. Is it that easy? Hold on, you guys can't see it, you're not close enough. Alright, if we look in here really closely at the turret ring, you guys are super duper zoomed in. We've got a scrape mark here, all the way around that ring, right? It ends right here. So this spoon has a support underneath it. It may not need it for this vintage of spoon. Some of the older spoons were thinner and they would get really bouncy when pins loaded. Is that all it is? That should be all it is. So let's go ahead. We're going to take that support out and see if our turret ring frees up. We're also going to loosen, but we're going to address these loose bolts into the turret frame. We're going to tighten those down a little bit. It doesn't look like they have any lock washers or flat washers in there, so we'll see if we can scrounge some hardware up. But this should be our issue. Here's my wrenches. We're going to start. I'm just going to take this off. Take this one spoon out. Yeah, if you guys notice, these bolts are super duper shiny and new, as well as this one. I don't know how they would have got that one in or out without taking the basket off, but I'm not here to ask questions. I'm here to find the answer. Yeah. All right, so that support plate, I don't believe we need it. And look at that. Our turret is no longer locked up on the spoons. Cool. That's all it is. Easy. Easy peasy. I was expecting to have to take this entire turret ring out of the machine and open it up and have bad bearings, and this makes things so much easier. But it's also good information to pass along to their team that we got to be careful. That was not on my radar, right? Most of the machines I work on are not typically this old, and they all have these thicker metal for the spoons. So this is good. Everything is loose now. And those are loose and they shouldn't be. But we're going to rifle through the shop and see if we can find maybe a flat washer and a lock washer for that too. So we'll come back in after I've scrounged some hardware up. So while I was searching for hardware, it kind of, I don't know, I was thinking, what issue might they have that they felt like they needed an extra support in here? And I don't have that answer, but I can ask and see. I'm curious, you know, but my mantra, words are hard today, I haven't had enough caffeine. My mantra started to become not necessarily, you know, don't ask why. Don't ask what people were thinking. Don't ask why. That's really not the concern at the moment, right? The concern is to find the issue and to fix it. I'm not really worried about the why. Let's see if we have enough room in here for a standard flat washer and lock washer. It looks like we do. Good. I don't know if I have enough room for the speed wrench. Maybe. Yeah, for a little bit. And then the head's going to go below that ridge. Yeah, there we go. Anyways, like I was saying, I'm not really worried about the why. I'm curious, right? If I have the opportunity, I'll ask. But that's not the mission right now. The task at hand is what, not why. We need to index this a little bit so we can, well, hold on. Before we do that, let's tighten the 3 other bolts on this turret ring. And then we'll spin the spoons around so that we can gain access to the 4th one right over there. Let's bring you guys a little lighter. So we tighten that one up. We tighten that one up. We're going to tighten that one up next. And then we're going to do the one that's buried underneath this pin release lever. These are the 4 screws that you take out, plus the indexing cam on the bottom, which is still on here. You take the indexing cam off of the bottom, and these 4 bolts, and this turret ring comes out. If you do these bolts, this 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, as well as the other 4 bolts, I call it the 4 corners, right? This corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner. If you take all those bolts off and you lift this up, all of your inner ring and outer ring bearings are going to drop out. That will make for a very bad day. I know, because I've done it. Oh, our turret clutch is rubbing on the frame there. There we go. Now you can see that one. We're going to tighten that one down. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't fun. Nobody told me 4 corners. They just said take the bolts out that go from the turret ring into the frame. They didn't tell me which ones. So I found out the hard way which ones it was. And then I had to try and find, 148 little BBs rolling around all over the deck and on the lane and into the pit. And yeah, well, that was not a fun day. But when you know better, do better, right? So, with that being said, our spoons are unlocked. Our turret center ring is good. Our middle ring is bolted securely to the turret frame. Let's bring our parts back in. Start with our basket. So a lot of times, if you have some newer vintage pin setters and the circuit boxes are not facing the bowlers, you will be able to pull the basket out. Well, here. You'll be able to pull the basket out with the halo still in place, because you won't have this circuit box, this whatever 4 or 5 inches sticking down in here to get in your way. You can get all the turret basket up over the halo between the rake shaft. You can't do it with front-facing boxes. You just don't have enough room. So you have to take the halo out as well. Okay, basket is back in. We're kind of sort of positioned over the holes for our screws. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in our turret center chute. So it kind of goes in sideways. Then you give it a little twist. That one was a little tight. That's okay. Sometimes they go in easy, other times they don't. So really what we're going to do, we're going to try and locate one. Oh, that's life. That happened. Don't worry. Don't take it personal. They left me a nice baggie of hardware all ready to go. That's good. We're going to get one screw. Well, we can't use that hole because there is a broken stud in it. And we are not here today to extract this stud. We are here to figure out why the turret was locked up. So we have fixed that issue. I'm not going to be super duper worried with one broken stud in a turret ring. When it gets to be 2 or 3 or more, then I get concerned. But just one, not a huge deal. We have other things to do. All right, let's go. Good morning, sir. Let's get this lined up. Okay. Got 2 in. Yeah, no worries.
So how'd I do?
Pretty good. We are recording, so if you want to be on video, yeah, feel free to hang out. If you don't, that's okay.
What did you find out?
Where's the, this piece? Let me put this on pause real quick. All right, I've got a set of stubby Allen wrenches here. Let's move this light over a little bit so maybe we can see a little bit better. I'm going blind. We're trying to get right in here. Hard to see. Little Allen screw in there. Oh. It's dark.
So while you're working on that, you're recording.
Uh-huh.
Go up and start cleaning pins 37.
Cool. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Nothing exciting here. We're just tightening bolts back down.
Yeah. Yeah, putting them back together. I mean, I could swap out with you and put it back together such that
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You're not missing anything. You got to disassemble it. And
one nut for one of the halo rings fell down.
okay. I'll see if I can find it. If not, we can bring another one in.
Yeah, because it's just that little quarter 20 probably size
Yeah.
nut that goes on the halo ring.
Okay. Cool.
And that all came out just like you said it would.
Yep. Yep. I've done it hundreds of times. I have a lot of practice. The thing with this is that it's low clearance, so a stubby Allen wrench is going to be your friend if you are using socket head Allen screws in here instead of the 5/16 head standard screws that come in here. A lot of these get drilled out and retapped with a quarter 20 bolt. So if you, it's a lot easier to get a wrench in here versus an Allen key. We're almost done here, and then we will do the remaining 5 screws. One more little turn. We want these to be nice and tight. Oh wow. Oh, my flat washer is starting to give a little bit. Okay. Well, then we'll make it a little tighter. There we go. I'm wondering if we can get sockets into the rest of them. But I don't have the socket wrenches. Fail. That's okay. What we're going to do, we're going to tighten the rest of these bolts. We could just, what am I smacking on here? I don't see it. No, either way, we can get this one tight. Maybe tightish. Yeah, I was thinking about getting a socket Allen wrench, just zipping these down real quick. I brought the sockets, but I didn't bring the socket wrench handle. And I don't want to go all the way back to my toolbox and back down here, when it's not going to save me a tremendous amount of time. Are power tools good? Yes. Can you use them for everything? No. Do you want to use them for everything? Yeah. That's how you know it's tight. You're going to make the noise. Yeah, I stole that line too. It's okay. Flattery is the most sincere form of appreciation, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I know what we're hanging up on. Yeah. The pin release lever links were drooped down. But I'm having a brain fart here. Brain is not braining. That's okay. Let's hit pause real quick. Okay. I did it off camera to save you guys some time. All we did is rotate the turret basket around so that we had access to some more hardware. without having to climb into the machine too far. I'm just going to tighten these up. A little more. What if we go the opposite direction and get to the other 5-pin shoot bolt? There we go. Move it all the way around. Oh, we did not get a bolt in there. Oops. I missed it. It's still in the bag here. Alright, cool. Nope, that is the wrong hardware. Thank you for being patient. Come on, phalanges. Oops. Drop more hardware. Well, hopefully we can find it. I'm optimistic. Plus I heard it hit the ground, so I kind of have an idea of where it's at. I'm like a bat. For a guy with really bad hearing, I can still be 90% accurate when I drop hardware where it landed. We had someone who was restocking like a wall in Redemption, and this wall had, you know, Redemption product hanging on it. I think in this case it was like stuffed animals or something. And they mentioned that the LED power supply directly below the little ledge they were working on was making a weird noise, and they called me in to investigate it. And I couldn't hear it. And they did the whole like, what? Really? You can't hear that? No. And so I got, the other guy I was working with, we're training the new technician. I said, can you hear that? Is that making noise? I don't hear nothing. And he's like, yeah, you can't hear that? No. 25 years of working on pinsetters and being around loud noise. And the first place I ever worked at, I worked there for about 5 years. And nobody ever told me about hearing protection, earplugs, or anything. I worked there, what, 17 to, I don't know, about 21? Yeah, that math checks out. Well, let me correct that. I was a pin chaser there at 17. Started in the mechanical world. But I started, I don't know, probably 1996 as a, I guess what today you would call guest service. Yeah. Let's zoom out a little bit. Awkward angle. It's dark. I'm rambling. I'm not. Pin release lever. It's going in here. Nowhere to set this flashlight down. Boing. It's got magnets. So, at the ripe old age of 16, I started working the weekend daytime shifts. Oh crap. Yeah, you guys can't see this. It's funny. Pin release levers on backwards. I was spent too much time talking and not enough time paying attention to the task at hand. But I remember the first time I saw these machines. I was probably 16, and we went to do they were training me. They showed me where the laundry was. Part of the task was, you know, doing laundry. Came around the side aisle corner and saw these big behemoth machines and kind of did a whole, what the fuck are those? These things are cool. Pardon my language. Swear words. Sometimes they fall out. Usually not on camera. But yeah, I was pretty much enamored with this equipment at that age. And eventually, you know, instead of being the guest service weekend kid, I moved up to the front desk, and then from there we went to pin chasing at 17. It was the whole, like, you know, we really need somebody and you're pretty trustworthy and just get your mom to say it's okay, you know. Screw the state of California, we don't care what they say. As long as your mom says it's okay, right? And the rest is kind of history. I've been fortunate enough to have made a career out of this, which is awesome. Alright, halo ring is just kind of dropped in place there. We have, the question is, yes, sorry, I didn't even get to finish my question, and I answered it mentally while nobody was looking. The question is, are the holes here in the turret frame threaded? Yes. On steel turret frames, they are, indeed. On the newer style aluminum turret frames, they are not. So we're going to drop in a bolt on 10 side and one on 7 side. Of course.
And it's on top of the other issue there, so there's a 5-pin. That's what he's got wrote up on the board. It's on top of 5-pin drop.
Okay.
So after you get it back together,
Okay.
that's what you got to diagnose.
Okay. Not a problem.
All right.
Spring for spider release is on. Alright, we need an X washer for that. We need to torque those down. We need to get our in the back. The halos need to be landed in the clamps. Have that one started. Let's go around to the 7 side. And more light. More light. 7 side is started. Hammer, hammer, hammer. Where did it go? Well, there's one right here. It's not my hammer, but it is a hammer, and it will work. Just gonna just kind of tap that down there. Same for the other side. Big reach. Alright, got that started. Let's go wrangle up some more parts, because we still need, man, it's so dark in here. So we need to tighten down the bolt on the top of the pin release lever. We need an X washer there. We need to tighten those bolts all the way back here. We need to get the hardware in for the clamp on the frame for the left and the right sides. So that's where we're at. That's not the perfect angle for you guys to really see 100% exactly everything, but we're going to install a new X washer onto our pivot point on the bottom side of the pin release lever. The very last thing I'm going to do is tighten this bolt up in here. Just to make sure we don't have any potential binding issues. Hold on. I forgot my 9/16 wrench. Okay. We have... so we got that one on... Pardon me. That one is not a very articulate thing. The X-pin washer for the lower pivot point of the pin release lever has been installed. Now we're going to tighten up the bolts, the bolt heads on the front side of the halo. We've gotten the rear side of the halo installed. We're going to bring in our hardware. We have, like Kelly said, we have one missing nut that we might find somewhere. We might not. I'm not seeing it. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. It just means you don't see it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. I'm sure we'll find it eventually, but let's go finagle some new hardware up too. Normally I do this with the deck in the down position. I just kind of took that for granted when walking Kelly through this. He got everything done absolutely perfectly. He did not lower the deck because he did not know, and I did not tell him that that would make it easier. So we're going to clear some of our tools off of the deck light here, off of the accelerator. And I'm going to hop around. And we're going to do this from the top of the machine. Whoa, there's no support on this wire channel. Oh, yeah. I'm a little too heavy to be sitting on that without a support. So we're going to bring in our bolts. This one did not have all 4 clamping bolts. One was missing, so we only have 3 bolts. Is it still going to work? Yes, it'll be just fine. Is it the best way to do it? No. And I'm not sure if they've got another bolt in inventory. So, with that being said, and considering they have other machines that they want looked at, we are going to secure this one with the hardware that was provided. It's not my most favorite thing to do, I'll be honest. But another catchphrase that we have been learning, I guess, in our management leadership development training class. I call it book club, but it's okay. I don't mean that to be derogatory. Is that sometimes done beats perfect, right? And in this case, the logic with that is that they have other things that need done. And if we wait and hem and haw until this thing is perfect, then nothing else is going to get done, right? We could be here for hours or days or weeks. What I'm doing right now, it's maybe kind of hard for you guys to see. I'm checking halo height before I lock these screws down. We want to make sure that the pins aren't rubbing into the halo. And that one looks good. bring it to the other side. That is a little low as well. So we're going to bring that up. Make sure pins are not contacting. Excellent. So yes, I know. Somebody's inevitably going to say, you're a hack, you're doing this, you're doing it all wrong. That's okay. You can have that opinion. I have a different opinion. My opinion is that this is going to work perfectly. Ow. Ow again. I made it too tight. I literally snapped that bolt. Well, it was probably pretty significantly weakened anyways if I broke it with that much force. Okay, well now that we have one bolt on each side of the clamp, that changes our situation. Now we will take some extra time to see if they have additional hardware. And just like that, the plan changed. Again, one of my other things is the no plan plan. The no plan plan doesn't mean that you don't have a plan. It just means that you're ready, willing, and able to pivot and shift and change that plan as the situation dictates. New hardware has been acquired. The bolts are a little longer than stock, but it's what we had. And sometimes you have to make do. If this is the best we can do, this is the best we can do. And survey says those screws are way too long. Well, crap. All right, well, back to the no plan plan. These are the best screws that I could find, and they are too long. So, we have one clamp bolt on each side of the frame holding that halo in place. What we can do, we can locate the proper part number or the spec on that bolt and forward that off so that more can be ordered. But for right now, this is what we're going to do. Awesome. Uh-oh, the lights are blinking. I need new batteries. Let's get the bolt on the top side of our interlock probe. Tighten back down. These are not large diameter bolts, so we don't want to gorilla tight, but the bolts are tight. We pivot freely. There's no bind in motion there. We need to get our short turret belt back on. Come on. Okay, short turret belt is back on. Step over the light bar here real quick. Let's see. Long turret belt is off of the pulleys. Yep. Is it off of? Yeah, it's off the front pulley too. That's not good. That'll cause a jam. With the table down and my ape-like arms, I'm in most cases able to put the belt on the tensioner while standing on the pin deck. This is a superpower that I have. I don't know anybody else that can really do it that way. But like with everything, you know, the way I tell everybody, I'm a lefty, you know, left-hand dominant. Everything I do is probably going to be from that point of view, right? Because that's more comfortable. If you're a righty, you're going to do everything different. You're going to have to learn how to do it differently. Or if you have, like in our case, we had a gentleman working with us for a short while who only had one hand. And he was amazing. You know why? Because that's the only way he knew how to live his life. It wasn't a disability to him. He had to learn how to do things differently, but as long as you got the ability to learn and grow, that's all you need. Hey, guess what? We're pretty much done here. Awesome. We're going to fire it up and run through a couple cycles, but as far as the hardware goes, we're done. Now, for the moment of truth. See what it does. Alright. Turret's indexing. Look, we had a multiple index there. Uh-oh. 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 Well, we have a bind somewhere. So we're going to check here, make sure our bolt heads aren't hitting the frame. That side looks good. Look in the front here. I don't see anything there. Yeah, let's switch around to the other side. Alright, we're on the other side, and we found it. I don't know if you can see. You see the threads sticking out of that bolt? They're rubbing into the frame. So we are quite literally 2 threads too long. So what we can do, this is also the same spoon we were working on. So let's get the turret indexed back around. This is facing forward again. What we'll do, we'll pull the spoon bolts out and we'll add maybe another flat washer to shim it up or something like that. But easy peasy. Alright, we're back from the shop. We have some lock washers and some flat washers. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any split lock washers, but that's okay. We've got these external tooth star lock washers, like what we use for the scissor assembly pivot studs. No biggie. They have a lot of these hanging around. So why not take advantage of that? They're also using these type of lock nuts, which isn't bad. That's fine. They have the lock washer built right into them. So we're gonna go lock washer, flat washer, spoon, and do that for the next bolt. Lock washer, flat washer, spoon. And then we can bring that back in. And now our threads will have clearance over the turret frame. Ta-da! Magic. Magic! How did he do that? That's called experience. I'm getting tired, man. I got this nice cold can of Starbucks double shot energy drink waiting for me after this project is done. It's summer. It's a little warm back here. I think you guys know what that feels like. I've only worked in, well, now 2 workshops that actually have air conditioning. My workshop does not have air conditioning. And perhaps if I were to piss and moan and complain enough, maybe my workshop could get air conditioning too. Let's retest this. All right, we're back up top side. Let's turn it on and see what happens. First ball cycle. We're waiting in 180. It's okay. Manually bypass 180. Uh-oh, they got a stretch spring out in their linkage in there. Stopped. Ain't supposed to stop at 270 when you do that. Need more pins. More pins. We're a couple pins short here. Oh, the fucking pit conveyor's not driving. God damn it. Everything is a struggle sometimes. Hold on. We'll get this dealt with. Why is our pit conveyor not conveying pins? I think I found the problem. There's no pit conveyor belt. So the pit conveyor isn't going to jog the pins if it's not being driven. Oh boy. Let's go see if they have another belt. I'm sure this one didn't just disappear on its own. This was probably taken off so that it could be used on a different lane. One step at a time. Let's figure this out. Good news, everybody. They had one in stock. The hard part is going to be trying to fish it onto the pulley for the pit conveyor, the jogger shaft. This bank of pin setters fortunately has the armor frame kickbacks. The only reason I like the armor frame kickbacks is that if needed, I can get my arm in there and put this belt on. Right now, I'm trying to just feed it through and hope for the best. Ah, close. All right, arms are going in. We don't have time to mess around. We have other things to do today. All right, that's on. That's on. Oh. Oh. Maybe? Are we going to have to take that? Yeah, no, we're good. That's on. All right. Now, let's retest. Boy, we are on the struggle bus today. The ball wheel belt came off the lower 10-side ball wheel roller too. So, yeah, we're going to have to get that put back on. All right, that was a bit of a struggle, but pit conveyor's running, ball wheel belt is on. Back to the task at hand. A few setbacks. We had a multiple index there. See what else we get. Still slow there. Well, let's see if we can find that multiple index issue. Let's just let this thing go for a while. See what we can see. Alright, second ball, cycle again. Like I said before, we're a few pins short here. Let's see what we can find out. Second ball and cycle. Maybe we find it, maybe we don't. I don't know. Spring's a little funky. I don't know. What I noticed in here, the spring seat and jam nut are loose, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten those up. Alright, I've been cycling this thing through for a while now, and I haven't seen, now this is a new one, failed to index. Now, we know we've got some worn indexing linkage, but that's one out of like 30 friggin' cycles, so yeah, could be a fluke, could be something more to look at, we don't know. I'm gonna call this one done for today. Everything's on, everything's functioning, we're good, lane's up and running, let's call it a victory. Next lane on our list is going to be this one. The information I'm being told is that this moving deck will double load. So let's see if we can get that to happen. Turn it on. We're in second ball. Cycle. Set new pins. Second ball again. Cycle all that stuff off. Set an empty rack of pins. Come on. Let's see if we can get that long link. Check this thing out. Okay. Long link latched. Do we have more than 20 pins in here? That did not release pins from the turret. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna hop down here. We want to look at that long link, turret long link. Oh, there's no reset. Rear reset button doesn't function. We want to make sure that's not unlatching on a strike. That did not unlatch on a strike. It unlatched at 270. So that looks good. Yeah, I don't know. I've been cycling this thing for a while and I can't see anything obviously wrong. I haven't gotten it to fail yet. So, not sure where we're going to go on this. Turret hasn't released pins inappropriately at all. Yeah. I don't have anywhere to go diagnostic wise. It is missing a deck roller on the number 6 slot, so let's go ahead and get that replaced. And we are having a couple of failed to index issues on 1, 7, and 10, so we may want to look at turret wire adjustments and maybe snubber position a little bit. So let's talk about indexing issues a little bit with twister pins, especially when they're starting to become vintage. Let me back out a little bit here. So what we want to do, what our goal here is to aim in getting these pins to transition more smoothly so that they can depress the indexing lever. What I've seen here a couple of times is the pins just kind of get stuck a little bit. And a good tip that my friend Cody shared with me is to open up the two middle, your inner turret wire. Spread them apart a little bit. That's going to give the base a little more room to get in there, and it won't get stuck. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to replace the missing rubber roller here in this number 6 position. Those are the only two things that I see wrong. So let's get those wires spread apart. Let's bring in a new rubber roller and retest